Hello.
Hi.
How are you feeling?
I'm good. Where are we?
We are at the Ladies of Selling LA Luxury podcast, where we talk about the real, the raw, the juicy, the fun, behind the scenes, the real shit that Anne-Marie doesn't want me to talk about.
Talk about some of this
We are
stuff.
rewriting the narrative even though Anne-Marie does not want to.
But we have the blueprint.
Our secrets or our mistakes?
Your blueprint.
Literally.
And this is the perfect topic because
Oh yeah, it's for you. It's the perfect topic because we have vastly different experiences.
I've had a good experience.
So today,
Knock on wood.
we are going to be talking about what it's truly like to be a landlord.
Yes.
So I will get started.
You start.
The truth be told, it's not as glamorous, at least for all of us.
Not that bad.
Wait until I tell you about my experience. Everyone glamorizes being a landlord,
Yep.
and I have to say that I've questioned the good in humanity since becoming a landlord. And I, as you know me, want to be like Mother Teresa.
Yes,
I lead
you
with
do.
love.
She leads with
Everybody
love.
needs to have help. We need to like nurture everyone, take care of everyone.
Yep.
It's a village. And then I became a landlord.
And you met tenants.
Awful, very mean. Not all of them, but a vast majority of them have been so rude, so mean to me, like just not good people.
But it's not even a tenant. Like, you've got living conditions, or shall I say, we have living conditions.
Yeah, we are partners in this. I just deal with this side.
You've experienced cockroaches.
Okay, let me talk about my experience. So, in just under 1 year,
Yep.
I think we closed on our first investment property.
About a year ago, yeah.
July, yeah, not even a year yet.
Not even a year.
Our team, except Anne-Marie for the most part, because she gets the best benefits of this partnership.
I get to stay here.
I get to tell her the stories of what goes on. So we've gone through 6 evictions. I've
had nothing to do with this.
I've been at eviction court.
Eviction court.
Dealing with the attorneys. And trust me when I say it was the last thing I wanted to do. So we pushed off. I found, not anyone on our team, I was the one that was like the inexperienced landlord. Everyone on my team has had tenants, or many of them. Yeah. All of our partners have experience in this realm, and then here I come, and I'm like,
so hopeful.
We have to take care of them. Let's give them more time. They just don't know how to pay on our system.
How many cases of water did you order because the water was down?
Hold on, that's the next topic.
Sorry.
So I'm like, any like reason, COVID's happening, people are out of work. Oh my God, they have babies, there's kids, whatever it is. I was like, let me give them the benefit of the doubt. If we just give them some more time, they're gonna pay. Wrong.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
So I'm like, damn it, I was fucking rooting for you. And so, of course, the cool thing is my team let me experience it, even though everyone's like, Angel, this is not what's going to happen. Like, we need to like go in, set the tone. We're the landlords. We don't play this bullshit. Let's go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, this is my city. We're in Cleveland. I can't be known for that. These are my people. And they're fucking right. They're right. So we've gone through 6 evictions. I've been to eviction court with my 1-year-old child. We've been through all the things, many metal detectors. We've had, on the next note, which you kind of brought up, the major and expensive property maintenance that happened without any warning. So we've taken over buildings where it was not disclosed some of the upcoming problems or complaints that they've had for years. Mm-hmm. We bought from many slumlords, some that even had management in place, and they sucked. And then they did the right thing. They sold it right when all the problems were about to start, but they didn't disclose it, which is crazy. They found ways to protect themselves in it, and we found ways to protect ourselves in the future, and I'll explain later. But including pipes bursting and our tenants going without water, I can't tell. Like, I've sent cases and cases of water because I was humbled to think like I remember one of our tenants texted me and said, most of us here live paycheck to paycheck, and we haven't had water in 12 hours. Granted, our team was actively working on the problem, was getting the parts, and then something else went wrong, and not one, like, we assembled.
One thing after another.
Yeah, and we assembled immediately, like, trying to find solutions. Mm-hmm. And I was like, damn, they live paycheck to paycheck. I haven't known that's felt like since since I was a teenager, and even then I didn't truly understand what that felt like. Not since we were kids and I was raised in that, and it brought me back down. Like, they don't even have clean drinking water or water to bathe in. Yeah, we need to send them, tons and tons of bottles of water. Mm-hmm. And that was just like one experience. So the maintenance, we have had drug overdoses on our properties. We've had deaths, which is crazy. We actually found out in one of our eviction courts that we
had a prostitution ring?
A trap house. We have a trap house.
A trap house?
It's like a drug house. There's prostitutes. We're evicting them. Again, was not disclosed to us, but we also didn't ask the right questions.
Our mistakes, your blueprints.
Now I'll tell you what we do to avoid this. We've also walked properties after purchasing them. Mm-hmm. And this brings us to the cockroaches.
Oh my God.
Like, not knowing, no one's disclosing it to us. Not the previous owner, not the current tenants. Like, hey, just to let you know, there's tons of creatures in here, including cockroaches. And they weren't the cockroaches that when you turned on the light, they ran. If you grew up, I know this is like kind of personal, but I grew up like in not so great of an environment, and there was cockroaches in some places in our cousins' houses and whatever. Mm-hmm. But when like you went to sleep, they came out because all the lights are off, and when you turn on the light, they scattered. Not these cockroaches. And I was baby wearing Luciano, and no one disclosed this to me, that there was bed bugs and cockroaches. And I just remember like walking the property, and they're crawling on my feet and legs, and I'm like, I'm like running out to give Luciano to Anya, our assistant. Yeah, I'm like, you gotta keep him out here. This is not safe.
Don't ask, just take him.
And I'm like, we need a hazmat suit. Please, someone bring me a hazmat suit from aisle 10. Like, it was bad. I was like, and again, a humbling experience. Yeah. The fact that, living in, that was a 4-unit where other people's lifestyles impacted everyone else. Mm-hmm. We happened to have a tenant that had a newborn baby, and we found out then that for years they've had a problem with bed bugs and cockroaches, and the last owner never tried to fix it. So of course we got pest control in there right away, So anyways,
I'm glad that you dealt with that. I have 2 fears in life. I'm getting over one. Okay, I have a little bit more than 2, but when it comes to rental properties or like being a landlord or whatever, I've come to accept. I grew up in Florida where the cockroaches
are this big.
They're huge.
Ooh, I remember being at Camp Shelby before my deployment, and they don't play around, and they're awful.
I've actually gotten better. That and rats are my 2. Like, oh hell no.
I've experienced.
I'll take a spider. I'll take a snake any day, all day. You give me a cockroach or a rat, I'm like, I'm out.
Listen,
I'm out.
I served as a sergeant in the United States Army. I deployed overseas. I do not do
Thank
well.
You for your service, by the way.
Thank you. I can't shoot a cockroach. They're too fast.
What?
I can do all that. Like, I can be in the military. I can go deploy. I can go to war. I can't do creatures.
Cockroaches they can survive nuclear war.
I can't do it.
Okay.
So that was my experience. On the other hand, thank God, I have one good experience.
What?
Our LA tenant. Oh my goodness, amazing.
So lucky.
Best tenant ever.
Really lucky.
Never misses a payment, pays in advance, sometimes 2 months at a time. Takes initiative on maintenance, pays for some of their maintenance, and such a pleasure, keeps us informed of what's going on with the property.
But also, he came in like a rock star when you had it on the market. He was like, wait, not only will I take care of your place, but I'm going to pay more than what you're asking.
And I'll cover up to $300 a month in maintenance.
He's a rock star.
So I need more of those.
Well, I'm in between those 2.
Wait, you have the same tenants I have. You just don't deal with them. I got the shitty end of the stick. It's good life experience. I honestly feel like I'm more experienced as a landlord than Anne-Marie in all of her time with just the experiences I've gone through.
So I've been a landlord for 12 years. Around 12 years, yeah. But I got lucky. I mean, I had tenants that were long-term tenants that were pretty decent. I kept the rents low. This is a mistake. I actually just had a conversation with an investor yesterday about how it's nice to keep the rents low, but make sure they're close to market value, because if and when you sell, and we all say, oh, I'm never going to sell, but sometimes life happens and you need to sell. And it doesn't need to be like to cash out. It could be just a 1031 investment where you come up with an opportunity that you just can't pass up. If your rents are significantly below market, you're not going to get as much value.
Not just that, no one wants to take on tenants that are not the ones that they've found, because we're in a very tenant friendly state here in California.
Very tenant. But my tenants, they were amazing. It was a single gentleman who started off, and he was with me for close to 10 years. I saw him get married. He got married. He had his first child, he had his second child, but then I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's becoming a parent, but by the time he left, he was fighting with me on, the security deposit that I had held for 10 years. But his kids had like Sharpied on the wall. And
I get it.
Didn't want.
I get it.
I've had to take Sharpies away from my daughter when she was little.
I feel for them.
Yeah.
My kids even have come up with mud crayons.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, so, I mean, I've had pretty good tenants. I haven't had the cockroach. Well, we've had, mice, but, we come and get that taken care of. Yeah. But for the most part, I've had pretty decent tenants. I can't complain.
Have you ever had to evict outside our tenants?
I have not had to evict outside our tenants.
I'm like envious that this is her experience.
What I do feel, which I've got cash cows. I've been very blessed with cash cow properties. I feel like I'm constantly buying refrigerators and washers and dryers, and like there's just this constant flow because they don't take care of properties as nice as an owner would, right? So
did you ever hear of a home warranty, Anne-Marie?
I have heard of a home warranty.
I had to say it. I'm sorry.
I have heard of a home warranty.
I'm sure it wasn't covered for whatever reason. Yeah.
So yeah, my experience so far has been much better than.
Well, then we'll learn from my mistakes. Since I was the one like dominantly in charge of these things, and what happened is opportunities came, and our team, like not just me, out of us two, majority me, I'm like, we're taking it. We might not be ready for it, but we're taking the opportunity. Emery's like, can I have some time to process?
No.
Well, the cool thing is,
but sometimes, sorry to interrupt, sometimes, especially in this market, you don't have the time to process.
Yeah.
You write the offer, it gets accepted, or you think about it and it's gone.
Yeah,
so I love that about you, is that you're like, let's write the offer, let's figure it out.
Yeah. So, and luckily we have two other partners, and one is just like me, and he's like, let's do it. Like sometimes I'll buy properties and I'm like, wait, you bought a property? Like we didn't discuss this. and then the other one is like Anne-Marie, but a little bit more like, I think a little bit more risk taking than Anne-Marie. Like Anne-Marie's like,
super
no.
conservative.
Yeah. So obviously we went at the lightning bolt speed. Some opportunities came up. I don't regret it one bit, but we dove right in, and here are some of the things of why it happened and what you can do to protect yourself.
Yeah.
So we didn't have proper representation for our realtor when we purchased. We had the sweetest realtor, so sweet. Shout out to her. But she didn't have experience with investor clients and investor out of state clients, which was where we really needed.
I just have to throw this in there. When you are an investor, you need to find real estate agents that have been in the trenches already.
Yeah,
because
to have the experience in whatever you're doing.
You can have a fantastic real estate agent, but
personality is great.
Yeah,
but it can cost you a lot of money.
Yeah, unless they've been there and they know what to look out for, and
which is what happened to us.
Exactly.
So that would be number one. Now we have a rock star real estate agent. I'm just gonna shout them out: Chris Miller, the Miller team, Karen Miller.
Chris Miller.
We're so grateful for them.
Yes.
The other one was we didn't have the proper questionnaires for the seller and tenants. So some of the disclosures, it wasn't required to disclose some of the information that I just talked about. So we now have questionnaires that are very specific, and the sellers and all of the tenants have to fill out the questionnaire, or we do not remove contingencies.
Yeah, and I think that's important because a lot of the podcasts that we talk about like investing out of state, or investing out of maybe in LA County, but like further in LA County. You need to get what you want out of the property. Yeah. So there's estoppel certificates, but that doesn't give everybody all the information.
Even disclosures don't always give all the information. So we're very specific about payments, about any previous complaints, deferred maintenance, like you name it.
List, yeah.
It's a whole thing. And then from those answers, we have follow-up questionnaires.
Yeah.
So that's very important. Secondly, thirdly,
are you going to talk about the attorney?
Fuck yes, I'm going to talk about the attorney. I'm not going to name any names.
Don't name names. No.
But we got wrong legal advice from an attorney that was local, that was recommended. I don't know from who.
That's huge.
And so when we bought our first few properties, we were under the impression that
we could do certain things.
We can do things that we couldn't do, which we actually thought were not, like, we're like, we need to set up tenant rights here. Like, this is too, like, landlord friendly. But we bought properties not based on the tenants and what they were doing, and we didn't need these questionnaires because we were told the contract stays in place with the previous owner. So once you switch over, if there's a lease in place, the lease is no longer valid because it's with the previous landlord. So of course, when we're buying, in our mind, no matter what the situation is, we know that we can give them a notice and they can leave, and we can vet our own tenants. So we were much more free about the properties that we bought and the questions that we asked. I think that cost us so much money.
It cost us a ton of money, but I think that's super important because, like, for investors, if you guys are thinking about becoming a landlord, if you're in California, the tenant rights are so much different than a place like Ohio or even a place like Florida or wherever you're going to invest.
Yeah, and the time processes, like evictions are fast in Ohio.
Yeah, not here.
Not here. Like, these are all things to take into consideration.
Absolutely.
So that was our third one.
Our mistakes, your blueprint.
Literally. And then our last one is our boots on the ground team. So initially let's just get to the point. We didn't have the right property manager. Nope. We didn't have the right attorney team, contracting team, realtor, maintenance, service teams.
I feel like everything that could have gone wrong went wrong.
But I'm excited that it did because it taught, like, when something goes wrong, you'll never forget the lesson.
Right.
So in under a year, we know everything to avoid, and luckily it was only a handful of properties. Yes, a lot of doors, but like we're on the road to do 150 doors by the end of the summer. So I'm so grateful we learned those lessons at the beginning.
First thing.
Then, like, slowly having all these, like, it was like
it's like a Mack truck hitting us. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, you told this legal advice isn't right?
Every time Anne-Marie would be like, what's going on in Ohio? I'm like, oh, what do you, girl, get the shots. And let me tell you.
You got an hour?
I was like, here's, and then getting yelled at. Everyone yelling at me all the time. I'm like, I'm just trying to make everything right. So, long story long, make sure you have the right team. If you don't know who is your team, we will provide our ecosystem for you, and we will make sure that the person that we connect you with is experienced in what you guys are trying to achieve and has the team that you need. If you need help, you don't know, like, what questions do I ask? What's the seller questionnaire? What's the tenant questionnaire? We got you.
We have it.
Yeah, we have all of it. We've made, like, I can't stress it enough. We made so many mistakes, and I don't regret it, but we made so many mistakes in such a short period of time. I feel like an expert.
But don't get scared. Being a landlord, like, I've had such a great experience.
Listen, our returns are amazing.
Yeah.
Like, we have a strategy and a plan. It's all worthwhile. We're all going to be wildly successful
Right.
with our, multi-city plan and investments. So, like I said, I don't regret it.
No.
It cost us some money, some time, some stress, a lot of wine.
Learn from our mistakes.
But we have the blueprint for you. But I just thought we'd let you know it's not as glamorous as it seems. You might have some cockroaches. You might go through some metal detectors at the eviction court.
Yeah. You might have to evict some people, and that breaks your heart.
But make sure you have the professionals that are guiding you and letting you know the worst case scenario.
Absolutely.
And that's all.
Yeah.
Till next time, beautiful humans. Namaste.